Good day, friends. It's Mikey GloveSave. As you know, we're coming off a winning night last night. Not by much, but we are in the green nonetheless, and that is what this is all about, friends. You see, in this war that we are taking on with the enemy, the evil sports books, sometimes we're going to drop some nukes on them, sometimes they're going to drop some nukes on us. In this case, we landed a nice little tactical missile on a small communications base, if you will. And yes, there will be fire exchanged back and forth. We will win some days and they will win some days. But in the end, with our extensive covert operations being executed, with our tactical warfare knowledge and aggressive offensive onslaught, in the end, Captain GloveSave and his platoon will overcome the sports books and win this war. That being said, we have one game on the slate tonight. Mikey GloveSave has 5 plays for that ass. Kelsey Plum's point prop is set at 19.5. I took the over. Minus 110 on DraftKings. You could also get that price on BetMGM. Other books have this anywhere from 125 to 130. This has just moved up from 18.5. And I personally think this should be set at 20.5. I think we're getting a little bit of value here. She just killed this line against Dallas last Friday with 28 healthy points, 80% hit rate in the last 5 and 10 games, 73% in the last 15. Now, Enrique is still out for Dallas. Harris is still out for Dallas. And now Leroux is out for Dallas tonight. Now, Kelsey could have actually cleared her points and assist prop and her points and rebounds prop recently on just points alone. I'm taking Kelsey Plum over 19.5 points, minus 110 on DraftKings or BetMGM. And we're going back to De'Arica Hamby's point prop. She's set at 17.5. Daddy took the over, minus 110 on DraftKings. She's just been scoring hoops, man. 80% hit rate in the last 5 games, 60% in the last 10 and 15. Dallas is 13th out of 13 teams giving up points to forwards. And we have the 3 injuries on the Dallas side that I just mentioned before. She just cleared this line last Friday against Dallas with 20 points. No-brainer for Mikey GloveSave. De'Arica Hamby over 17.5 points, minus 110 on DraftKings. And while we're on the subject of Ms. Hamby, I'm also going to take her rebound prop over 7.5. Daddy got this at plus 106 on FanDuel. She just cleared this with 10 rebounds last Friday versus Dallas with Enrique and Harris out. They're also out tonight, as I had mentioned, and Leroux. 6'7" Leroux is also out tonight, which I think is going to open up a nice, wholesome, cozy atmosphere underneath that hoop for our friend De'Arica to just feast on a healthy supply of rebounds throughout the evening. Only 40% hit rate as of late, but she is a rebounder, and this is her spot. De'Arica Hamby over 7.5 rebounds, plus 106 on FanDuel. And we're going to run back the Rickea Jackson three-point prop. I got her over 1.5 three-pointers. I got this late last night, minus 130 on FanDuel. The best price available now is 140. You could get that on Caesars or Fanatics. Don't like the idea of playing it too much higher than that, but the hit rate on this is just undeniable. 100% hit rate in the last 5 games, 80% hit rate in the last 10, and 67% in the last 15. Dallas is 13th, again, out of 13 teams in giving up three-pointers to forwards. She just cleared this last Friday versus Dallas with 3 three-pointers. Personally, looking at her record here, I think that this should be set at 2.5. Rickea Jackson over 1.5 three-pointers. Daddy got it at minus 130 on FanDuel. You can get it at minus 140 on Caesars or Fanatics. Daddy also likes Azura Stevens point prop. Daddy took over 13.5 points for minus 110 on Fanatics. You can also get this price at BetMGM and Caesars. We're not really getting much of a pricing edge here, but Daddy likes the probability. 60% hit rate in the last 5, 10, and 15 games, which really isn't something to get naked over. But she did clear this last Friday against Dallas. And looking at their history, she's actually cleared this line in all 4 games versus Dallas over the course of the past 2 years. Now you incorporate those 3 injuries on the Dallas side, and I think this sets her up for a nice over. Azura Stevens over 13.5 points, minus 110. And Daddy's final play of the day for that ass. Maddie Siegrist over 14.5 points, got this at minus 110 on BetMGM. Now she has an 80% hit rate in the last 5 games, but only 50% in the last 10 and 33 in the last 15. Now, she did just barely clear this with 15 last Friday versus LA. But in the last 3 games, She had 22 points, 15, and 23. So Mikey GloveSave looked at this and said, I'm noticing a bit of a increase in production recently, and I want to find out why. So that's what Mikey GloveSave did. At least he developed a hypothesis. So last game before her injury was June 11th. She came back on August 5th, and she came back with limited playing time, only getting 15 minutes, 25 minutes, and 19 minutes. Then her playing time all of a sudden went up to 36, 33, and 33 minutes. So Mikey GloveSave has a couple theories. Either the Dallas Wings physical therapy rehabilitation staffer people said, yeah, she's ready to go, bring her back up to her full minutes. And or the Enrique injury just called for more responsibility for Maddie and more playing time. Now, on top of that, we have Leah Rue out tonight. And she was also out in the last game that the Wings played against Vegas. And Maddie had her highest scoring game out of all of them versus the Aces. Yeah, not Connecticut, not Chicago. This is the Aces. So this leads me to believe that the more responsibility hypothesis is the reason why, or the main reason. Anyway, this could work one of two ways. Either she will continue this production filling those voids, or the Sparks will say, hey, we got to get on Segrist because they're going to be taking her as her go-to person. I'm leaning towards the over. On top of that, LA is ninth in giving up points to forwards. So Daddy is going to take Maddie Segrist over 14.5 points, minus 110 on BetMGM. And that will do it for today's edition of WNBA Picks for That Ass with Mikey GloveSave. Now keep in mind, we only had one plus money bet out of these 5 today, so we are going to have to win over 50% of these in order to get in the green. But Mikey GloveSave really likes these plays, and he thinks the prices are fair. So the battle begins at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We shall see. Good luck to all my disciples. Mikey GloveSave out.